Good evening, everybody, and welcome. And a special welcome to dear Brother Paul, to Margaret and Victor, and to Sister Sue who've logged in, and to those who've not logged in, welcome to our Christmas Eve live webinar. And if one of you could give me a sound and vision check, that would be good. Thank you. This evening, we're going to begin by reading a word from the man himself. Thank you, Brother Paul, for the sound and vision check. We're going to read from Francis, and he says, God alone suffices, the perfect gift. Therefore, let us desire nothing else. Let us want for nothing else. Let nothing else please us and cause us delight except our Creator, Redeemer, and Saviour, the only true God, who is full of good, all good, every good, the true and supreme good, who alone is good, merciful, gentle, delightful, and sweet, who alone is holy, just, true, holy, and upright, who alone is kind, innocent, clean, from whom, through whom, and in whom is all pardon, all grace, all glory, of all penitents and just ones, of all blessed rejoicing together in heaven. Therefore let nothing hinder us, nothing separate us, nothing come between us. And he goes on to quote Psalm 27 verses 4 to 6, and we read, all that I want and need is the theme of the psalm. One thing I have asked of the Lord, that will I seek after, to live in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord, and to inquire in his temple. For he will hide me in his shelter in the day of trouble. He will conceal me under the cover of his tent. He will set me high on a rock. Now my head is lifted up above my enemies all around me. And I will offer in his tent sacrifices with shouts of joy. I will sing and make melody to the Lord. And he gives us a beautiful prayer which I would like to share with you. In this season, I exhaust myself trying to find the perfect gifts for others. I am also half convinced that I will only be satisfied if I receive the perfect gift. However, you are the perfect gift. You are that gift. You alone bring satisfaction and fulfillment in my life. All other things leave me feeling empty. This Advent, you alone suffice to bring happiness and peace in my life. Let us just stay with those beautiful words. And I would like to play for you now a piece of music. Just relax and be still.
Take my life and let it be consecrated, Lord, to thee. Take my moments and my days, let them flow in ceaseless praise. Take my hands and let them move out the
I feel after that I've become a heavy metal rocker for the Holy Family of Nazareth. I do apologize, but I was guided to play that. Maybe it's a time of celebration and shaking the dust off us as we prepare for this amazing feast, the birth of the Christ child. I was guided, just before we went live, to open this beautiful book, Living the Wisdom of Francis, and this is what I got to share with you now. Discovering Heaven on Earth. And this quote is from the Legend of Perugia. We who lived with him saw him find great cause for interior and exterior and external joy in all creation. He caressed and contemplated them with delight, so much so that his spirit seemed to live in heaven and not on earth. Francis was said to have recovered a lost harmony. When he preached to the birds, to the flowers, and to the creatures of every kind, he spoke not only as one who had a profound sensitivity to creation, but also as a person who already lived in this world in terms of the next, when all things will be reconciled. He shocked people into an awareness that God's earthly reign has already begun. His example reminded them that the Spirit of the risen Christ is truly at work in the world. Should they not also believe and participate in it? What are we to make of his testimony? Some might say that Francis simply imagined a peaceful kingdom, a tame world where the wolf lies down with the lamb, ignoring the obvious suffering and cruelty. However, this is difficult to accept because he traveled the wild landscape of Umbria, lived off the land, and experienced a world most of us never witnessed, to a world where there are robbers, wild animals, thick forests, mountains, and the silence of endless horizons. He certainly encountered the cruelty of nature, suffering the pain, evil, and the limitations that pervade all existence. But yet, he proclaimed that world was fundamentally good. He looked at reality and he saw stars singing and the earth alive with hope. He knew the imperfections of creation, but also anticipated the freedom to which all creation is called. What is such a vision like today? In The Hungering Dark, Frederick Buchner describes a time when he, his wife, and his daughter watched 6 killer whales perform a beautiful dance with such exuberance that it seemed as if all of creation was caught up in one great jubilant dance of unimaginable beauty. Tears welled up in his eyes, and he comments, "We shed tears because we had caught a glimpse of the peaceful kingdom, and it had almost broken our hearts. For a few moments we had been part of the great dance that goes on at the heart of creation. We shed tears because we were given a glimpse of the way of life was created to be and is not. And according to Thomas Merton, we do not have to go far to catch echoes of that game and of that dancing. When we are alone on a starlit night, when by chance we see the migrating birds in autumn descending on a grove of junipers to rest and eat, when we see children in a moment when they are really children, when we know love in our own hearts. Yet there is a difficulty, one that Francis knew well. We are imperfect creatures who tend to choose separation over union. We see ourselves as primarily important and creation as secondary. Francis was deeply sensitive to the tendency to sin that keeps us locked out of paradise. He calls all of us to a change of heart if we want to know heaven on earth. We need to turn from the inclinations and addictions that separate us from the source of life and cause us to misappropriate the gifts that you and I have received. Through the grace and the forgiveness of Jesus Christ, we find communion with the human family and with the cosmos. One of the challenges of those who take the Canticle of Brother Sun to heart is to avoid falling under the weight of separateness and disharmony and trust in the Spirit. The Canticle is more than a poetic celebration of creation. It calls us to have faith that peace and simple unity is possible, that we cannot tolerate disregard for the dignity of people or creatures, and that the Spirit can work through and transform the world. It teaches us to listen, not only to the longing of humanity for God, but also for the groaning of creation for the Creator. Our own desire for fulfillment is shared by all creation, and we must work toward hope in the harmony of a new creation. And we are given a quote, more of a reflection for the heart. Do I rely on my own limited efforts in my search for peace and harmony with myself, others, and creation? Or am I open to the work of the Spirit through me? God of life, give me the wisdom to realize that the struggles of this present anticipate a new creation. And that leads us to the beautiful prayer to the Holy Spirit of God, who is now coming upon us and filling us with the love that the Holy Family of Nazareth have demonstrated to us over the past 4 weeks, where they have tirelessly trod the Judean hills, the dangerous precipices, all for love. Breathe on me, O breath of God. Fill me, your child, with life anew, that I may love what thou dost love and do what thou wouldst do. Touch my life, that I may see you in everything that lives, that moves, that breathes, and has its very existence from you. Empower me to live in this present moment, seeking only your love and your light. Be still now, and let us join Mary and Joseph in that stable where Mary is about to give birth to the Son of God. And you are there. You are there. In fact, you're as close to Mary as is her husband Joseph, because Mary has called you by name to come and assist her as a spiritual midwife. She called you by name. Why? Because she loves you, because she respects you, and because she knows in your heart that you have suffered the great price, that you have paid the great price, that you have hit rock bottom not once or twice but many times, and that when you called on the Mother of God, you were given the breath of God. So Mary calls you again to partake in the rebirthing of Christ in your life on this hallowed night. Be still now. Be still and be aware. And before you close your eyes, I want you to visualize 3 of the figures that I've taken from our crib behind me. And there you will see the Holy Family of Nazareth. Look at the gentleness in the face of Mary and Joseph. And there we have the Christ child. And now back to the stable. We can close our eyes and we can visualize with the aid of the Holy Spirit, the same Spirit who came on Mary and who impregnated her with the seed of God's love, as he's doing now for you. And Mary is resting now. Her panting is not as laborious or laborious, and she is trusting you that if anything should happen untoward, that you are there. Joseph is not here. He's with the shepherds, because this wasn't a man's thing in those days. It was woman's work. And you are the only female present with Mary. And the animals gather around you to bring extra heat and warmth for when the baby comes. And you have got the necessary towels and water just beside you. And you can see that the Blessed Mother is sweating profusely. So dampening a small cloth, you wipe her brow, you wipe her hands, and you reassure her with these words: all will be well, O Blessed Mother of God. All will be well, for the angels of God are here. And now Mary begins to labor. And you can see that as a young woman, barely out of her teens, that this is a new experience for her. And yes, she's frightened. So she's holding your hand tightly. And you reassure her from your heart that all will be well and that nothing untoward will happen here, because the archangels are present and the Spirit of God is here with both of you. And Mary relaxes now and begins to push and push. And as you look down, you can see a tiny head coming through her cervix. And there you've got clean towels ready to receive this beautiful little babe born in abject poverty out of love for you. And Mary pushes again, and now you see the neck of the baby Jesus, the shoulders. And though the baby looks blue, with one more push, the baby comes through with its umbilical cord not around its neck, but clearly visible for you to clamp in two places. And you place this beautiful little child wrapped in clean clothes, clean linen cloths, and you place the babe on the breast of Mary, and then cover both of them with some warm woolen blankets. And as Mary is nurturing her firstborn son, you attend to the other duties, attending to Mary's hygiene and ensuring that all is well and that the placenta has been completely removed. And for a moment you stand back and you look at Mary, and her eyes are transfixed on this helpless child. She feels its little heartbeat. She looks at its little fingers, and she places her little finger in the little hands of the baby Jesus. And he wraps his little fingers, tiny as they are, around her small finger. And his eyes begin to open. And suddenly Mary is looking into the eyes of the Son of God. And the Christ child, helpless little babe that it is, it's clinging to its mom, feeding off her breast. And Mary now has become a mom for the very first time. And she looks at you with tears of joy in her eyes, and she thanks you. She thanks you for being there as a pillar of strength through the whole journey of the past 4 weeks. And as you look at Mary, there are tears in your eyes, because you've never met a woman so graceful, dignified, even humble. And the two of you embrace with the baby Jesus feeding off Mary's breast. And as you lie there with Mary and you smell that beautiful smell that babies have, and you run your fingers through its little toes and now to its little fingers, the baby Jesus grabs your finger and you feel instantly electric shocks of divine love ricocheting through your body. Your heart has almost stopped with the intensity of this beautiful love. It is not a love you have ever experienced before, but you are aware now that as you gaze at this little babe feeding on its mother's breast, You are looking at the Son of God. And now Mary asks you to take baby Jesus into your arms as she attends to something of urgency. And you can tell that the little babe needs to release some wind, so you're gently rubbing your hand on its back. And you can hear the Christ child burping in your arms. How are you feeling now? Holding the Christ babe in your arms, caressing it with love. For such a long time, and 4 weeks seemed endless, the times when you placed your hand on Mary's tummy to soothe the cramps that she was having, even to lying next to Mother Mary under the desert skies, listening to the unborn infant chunnering away. Now you're holding him. You are holding the Son of God in your arms, and you are complete now. For there is no greater love than to hold the Christ in your arms. And as you gently nurture this helpless babe, you feel in your being that he's holding you. That you are being held in the arms of this little babe. And with every in-breath that you breathe in, you are breathing in the love that this babe has for you. It has allowed you hold him in your arms. Visualize this, that you are holding the Son of God in your arms. And are complete now. And baby Jesus turns his little head and he looks straight at you. He's eyeballing you. And at first you felt a little uneasy because you knew that he was doing something else. He was looking into your eyes, the window of your soul, seeing how he could help you. And as he looks into your eyes, you sense a powerful surge of divine love. Encapsulate any fears, painful memories, memories that go right back to childhood, right up to this present moment. You sense that this love, it's like a vacuum. It's releasing from your memory all painful thoughts, feelings, and experiences, and releasing them now to Mother Earth. And the Christ child within your arms is empowering you to take back your power and to reclaim who you are, a beloved of God. beloved of God. And you're being asked by Spirit to take a deep breath and to breathe in the very essence of God and protect yourself. Experience this by breathing in now and hold it, and in your out breath breathe love to all here, to all outside your front door, to all who live in your vicinity, to all who live in your country, and to all who live in this cathedral of God, the world. And though many are called to surrender their heart to a loving God, only a few stay the course and who are willing to give their life as ambassadors of peace, to be light bearers of the good news that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, that he was born for us in abject poverty out of love. And that one day he would demonstrate that love for you. But for now, you are holding in your arms this tiny, helpless, perfect being, the Son of God. And as you cradle him, he's sleeping now. And you can hear him chunnering. And suddenly, you see an angel of light, not one, not two, but a choir of angelic beings before you. And they are singing the Gloria in excelsis Deo. Glory be to God on high. And Mary returns now, looking much brighter and refreshed. Her hair has been brushed with a change of clothing, and she's pleased to see the look on your face. And as you hand the baby over, she blesses you. And she allows you to kiss her son. And instantly the baby Jesus begins to giggle. A giggle of acceptance that you are a child of God and that you are loved. Dearly, dearly loved. And now Joseph comes to join Mary as they place the baby Jesus in its manger. now you can see that this is the Holy Family of Nazareth, adoring the Christ, the Son of God. And you have held him in your arms, and he has caressed you. He has affirmed in you that you are a child of God, that you are loved, truly loved. Treasure these moments. Treasure the words that Mary has imparted to you over the past 4 weeks. And remember, you are never alone now. You are never alone. For you have a spiritual mother who cares deeply for you. And you know she does, because she relinquished her son to the tree of life out of love for you and me. And now we celebrate the first Christ Mass, the birth of the Son of God, Emmanuel. God is with us, and God is with you right now. A blessed Christmas, my dear friends, and let the Christ child grow in your heart and feel his love. Feel his love for you. And he chose to be born this way out of love and as an example for you to follow. And the mantra, I am a child of God and I am loved. I am loved. Merry Christmas. Have a beautiful day, dear Miriam in New Zealand, for today is Christmas Day for you, and we have yet to look forward to it. And blessings, dear Paul and Margaret and Sue and whoever else is here. And a special blessing on all our pets, the creatures of God. Amen.